There you have it. I just thought it would make for an interesting thumbnail, because this is the trend. It's so funny because from the politicians to the popes and other religion priests to the celebrity, whether of the year or on the comeback, they all keep on flashing those signs, but everything is okay. Everything is okay. There is nothing to see. It's a conspiracy. So it's just like hilarious to to realize that some people still think like those are not clues. But Macron won in France, and so it's a little bit of a late reaction. But to tell you that I was depressed wouldn't be fair, because from the first round, when I got to see the choices, I knew France was done. So it's not like Le Pen was going to be some type of solution, not at all. Contrary to what has been propagated in the US and other countries, she was not going to be the solution, and honestly, those elections were not rigged. I got my finger, with the French population. I'm at the cafes, I'm in social circles, and I can very well see that the people weren't like too excited about their choices, and Le Pen was not being seen as a solution, and never was. And she had a little bit of a momentum at some point, even with the Arabs and Muslims living in France. They were going to vote for her because she had an appealing speech at some point, which was to cut off France from Europe. They wanted this. They wanted the sovereignty of the country. And of course, there might be Arabs and Muslims, but they're still French citizens. Um, so it wouldn't be fair, like, not to consider them French citizen because of racial BS, because it's what comes in play. And they wanted to protect their jobs as well. They wanted to live in a prosperous economy as well. And then Marine Le Pen got to be a little bit extreme in her arguments, and encompass all Muslims and Arabs, and not make a distinction between the refugees and the French Muslim citizens. And she honestly deserved to lose. She really did, because I got to. She backtracked on. She flip flopped on many of her appealing arguments, towards the end. And then she, in the debate, she did extremely poorly, to a point where I was really wondering, like, if she was doing it on purpose, if she was being told to let it go, because she's known to be an extremely witty, intelligent, and aggressive woman. And I mean, all of this didn't come out during the debate, and she got really dominated by a 39-year-old little punk. It's what he is. Imagine an opening of a movie where you get to see this beautiful girl next door, let's say played by Rachel McAdams, and who is going to her parents' house to introduce her future fiancé, and the fiancé is being played by Macron. So you already know. You don't need to know the actor. You don't need to know the rest of the story. You know the guy is troubled, and it's exactly what's happening in France now. So goodbye, France, and it's gonna be diluted like homeopathic medicine. This country is gonna be diluted like homeopathic medicine in the bigger body of Europe, and nothing is gonna remain of it. I believe it will be fragmented by administrations to the point of where all national feeling is lost. God knows what are the laws they're going to introduce. However, I don't see his term going to the end. In France, the terms are 5 years, which sounds long, but it's only 1 year longer than in the US, which is 4. And actually, it's way less than what it used to be, which was 7 years So Francois Mitterrand did 3 terms of 7 years, so that's called a dictatorship. And so I don't believe like this term is gonna see its end. I don't see things going the way they are. Just like we're gonna just have a new president in 5 years or whatever. It's not gonna happen. I don't give France more than 2 3 years, and I believe it's being optimistic. It might happen even this year. I mean, things are moving so fast. With my real income activities aside, I don't always have time to address them. I would love to, but it's definitely moving fast, and in the US as well. All over the world. So now, if we get to see something in North Korea, or let's say Iran attack Saudi Arabia, I believe it's going to be a big flag for really stocking the food and getting really ready. I know we've been told this for years, and it seems at some point that it's just a state of like red alarm at all times. But if you see those events, then that's it. We are beginning this period of big trouble that is portrayed in the Bible as the tribulation. And yeah, Macron won, and it's of no surprise. And do not let be influenced by people saying that the elections were rigged in any type of shape or form, because it's those reporters, and it's including Paul Joseph Watson, who I usually like, are picking and choosing the bits of information they want to present in order to make Le Pen look like a victim of the elections. She's only victim of herself, of the type of character she is, and of the type of I would say laziness around her campaign, inefficiency. And I would be very surprised if the world goes as it is, and if there is a future term in France. I would be very surprised that she gets to represent that party ever again, because I believe that everybody knows that it was their opportunity to win. They didn't, and they only owe it to Marine Le Pen. So I really doubt that she will be representing this party in 5 years if such elections do take place. So that was my French reaction on the French elections, and I'm not going to be covering it anymore. It's on the world scale. I find it extremely interesting. To me, the freedom is happening in the fight for the freedom is happening in the US, and considering what's going on with Donald Trump, how many times he flip-flopped already, how many times he diluted his speech. I wouldn't expect much from this guy anymore. However, because it's been only 3-4 months, I would say if we don't see the indictment of the Clintons and Obama by September, it's not going to ever happen, and everything else is a distraction. And we're being distracted all over. Like, look at the left, look at the right, look up, look down. And it's like, hey, are we forgetting about the pedogate? Are we forgetting about those emails? Are we forgetting about her foundation in Haiti? Are we forgetting that she's supposed to go behind bars? Are we forgetting that this is most certainly the main reason Donald Trump was elected for? Everybody wants to see it. If this is not happening, personally, I'm losing all hope for Donald Trump. And so it's the power is in ourselves, in the small choices we're making every day, and the way we manage really our money on our little levels. Because everybody's wondering, what can we do? What can I do on my level? Believe me, like, you can, because it all adds up. I used to feel very isolated like a few years ago, and now there's more and more people that are like in tune and on the same frequency, and because they got to see the clues, they got to see the political waters getting hotter and hotter, and they got to waken up, and so it's very encouraging, and do not believe that voting with your dollars doesn't make a difference. See what happened with Coca-Cola. See what happened with Starbucks, with McDonald's. They're all like 25, 33% down for like years in a row now. So all of this applies in everything. Okay, take care, and God bless.